5:30, so let's call to order this City Council meeting for Monday, November 20th. Would you start us off with the roll call, Jordan?
Please respond by stating present. Councilmember Ronayne, Faubourg, Liebelt,
Present.
Reif,
Present.
Johnson,
Present.
Reinbold,
Present.
Langer,
Present.
Norvstrup, Mayor Schonman.
Present. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have a couple of changes for our printed agenda, which were given to me here this evening, so I want to be sure that we take a vote that includes those amended items. The first one is add payroll to new business number 8, and then the second one is to divide 7H into two different votes. One would be to engage Sickmiller for the design of the that replacement chiller, and then the second part of that would be 7H2 would be the purchase of one of those two chillers, which were outlined in an addendum that perhaps we've been emailed, or we've each been emailed. So that having been said, I would take a motion to approve the agenda with those two amendments, please.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilwoman Liebelt, a second from Councilman Reinbold. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion carries. Previous meeting was held on November 6th. Our second vote will be to approve the minutes of that City Council meeting.
Move to approve the minutes.
Second. Motion Reinbold, second Johnson. Does anyone from the council have anything to add, change, or remove? All right then, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion carries. Chief Weig, would you take a look and see if anyone is set to speak over open forum? I don't. Okay, so we've got an open forum speaker. I'm glad that I asked. We've got Representative Carl Perry. Carl, go ahead and make sure that your little green light is on and give us a few minutes of whatever you've got to share.
The green light is not going on.
You've broken it.
I didn't do anything. Let me go up to that one.
Yeah, sure.
I'd be happy to move us.
Oh, is it working now?
You can stand, you can sit.
I'll do whatever you ask. There you go. Okay.
Welcome, Carl.
Actually, that'll be probably about as long as this is going to be. I just wanted to make sure that the Exchange Club of Aberdeen does a lot of good things, and one of them is their Youth Awards programs, and I just wanted to tell you who some of the winners were this month. Because one thing we forget to do is recognize our youth that are doing a really good job. And I'm not doing this because the Exchange Club said, hey, come and do this. I'm doing it because I went to the meeting today and I thought it was inspiring. And the person that inspired us at the very beginning isn't here, but Erin Faubourg was the speaker for that group. And she told the kids something that I thought was really good, that 15% of the people are doing the work for the 100%. So 85% of the people are kind of watching things happen, and 15% make things happen. And she said, I'm very honored to be in that group of the 15% that make things happen. And I thought that would, she represented the city very well. But I'll give you a couple names of a couple kids, and then that's all I'll do. How's that? Roncalli Youth Citizen Award. This is given to kids by their teachers because they're just doing a good job, and their peers. And they don't do anything to earn this. They do this by just being active. And for Roncalli, it was Gamaya Shinek and Olivia Dix. And for Holgate, it was Elisa Hamill and Malaya Tipon. And then for Simmons Youth, it was Jillian Leposki and Torian Buckles. And parents, if you're watching this, I apologize for murdering your kid's name, but I did want to let people know that they're doing a good job. And for Christian Youth Citizens Award was Peter Ross. And for the Roncalli Youth of the Month, Eva Madsen. For the Central Youth of the Month, it was Arnie Waldo. And for the Christian Youth of the Month, Abby Heineman. And you know what happens a lot of times, if our youth are doing something wrong, they get a lot of notice. But you know, when our youth are doing something good, they don't get noticed the way they should. And I'm sure that Dave doesn't see these kids very often, if ever. So these are the kids that make a difference in Aberdeen, South Dakota, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Representative Perry. Appreciate you bringing that to our attention. Thanks to each of those youth that were mentioned, and congratulations for those awards. Next, we've got our city consent calendar, where we've got 6 items of routine city business: hearings, retail permits, event permits, lottery notice, and finally a license for a single residential building contractor. Take a motion to approve those 6 items.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Northrup, a second from Councilman Reinbold. Anyone from the council have anything on this? All right, then all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. One single item of old business. We've got a possible approval of a second reading and final adoption of ordinance 23-1001, which rezones properties as lots 466 and 467 of the Morning Heights subdivision, physically located at 616 South Rock Street, from C2 and R3 to simply R3 high density residential. Ken, anything new on this one?
Thanks, Mayor. There has been no changes since last month. Or last
Passed
hearing.
without objection 2 weeks ago on its first reading. Would someone care to make a motion for our second reading?
I'll move to approve.
Motion, Councilman Johnson, second, Councilman Northrup. Anyone from the council have anything on this topic before we take our final vote on this issue? Jordan?
Councilmember Liebelt,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Moving right along to our new business, where we've got a public hearing and possible approval to transfer retail on-off sale malt beverage and South Dakota farm license from Lafayette Casino Corp., DBA Lafayette Casino number 2, to Mark Johnson, DBA Lafayette Casino at 1923 6th Avenue Southeast. No one is here to speak on behalf of that, so I would take a motion from someone on the council.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion, Councilman Norvstrup, second, Councilwoman Langer. Does anyone have anything on the council? All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We've got another one. It's a public hearing of a possible approval of a transfer of an on-sale liquor license from Stephen Lust, doing business as Stephen Lust, at his location 1514 6th Avenue Southwest, to Legends Aberdeen LLC, DBA Legends Casino, which will be located at 1812 6th Avenue Southeast, Suite 1, in the old NBC building.
So,
Like no one's here to speak on that, so I would take a motion from the council if someone was so inclined.
so moved.
Second.
Motion Northrup, second Reinbold. Anyone have anything on the council before we take our vote? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Then opposed, nay. Motion carries. Possible approval next for a 2024 combined election agreement between the City of Aberdeen, the Brown County, and Aberdeen School District 6-1. Jordan, would you tell us a little bit about that agreement?
Thank you, Mayor. This is a multi-year agreement between the city, the county, and the school district to utilize combined elections. We find that it leads to higher turnout from voters. This election is, or this item is being renewed at the request of the school district. It isn't expired, it's simply updating some language. There are no changes since last year, and it will be up for renewal again next year. Staff recommends approval.
Move
So-
to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Reinbold and a second from Councilman Johnson. Does anyone in the council have anything to state or any questions as it relates to this agreement? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, we've got a possible approval of Resolution 23-1102R to become a South Dakota Retirement System Special Pay Program Unit. Jordan?
Thank you, Mayor. The SDRS Special Pay Plan is a retirement plan that allows employees to contribute their, what would be final paychecks, vacation or extended leave into a lump sum payout that goes to South Dakota Retirement System instead of that employee. The purpose of that is tax savings to the employee. When we pay it out, it's subject to more payroll taxes. When it goes through this mechanism, there is tax savings. When an employer elects to utilize this, they must either fully implement or not at all. It's totally optional for the employer to opt in, but once we're in, we don't have a choice. It's been presented over the years. We've never really taken it seriously, but conversation amongst department heads and city staff seem to support this, and staff recommends approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion, Councilman Reinbold, second Councilman Northrup. So it's an all or nothing in terms of every employee will have to abide by that policy.
That's correct. And I should clarify, it only affects those that are eligible to participate, and it's those that are 55 older. So those that are under the age of 55 would not have that withholding automatically contributed to SDRS because they are not eligible. But those who are must participate.
And then I trust you've spoken to at least a few of the city employees, and it was pretty well received.
I've spoken with several employees. I've presented it to department heads at staff meeting and requested that they reach out to their employees. I've not heard any negative feedback, but I've heard positive feedback.
Stu, as a guy who's 55 plus, you think it's a good thing? All right. Sounds good. 1 for 1 on my random sampling.
Not that it's
Feeling good
a,
about it.
not that it's a big issue, but is there an additional cost to the city for doing this?
There is an administrative cost. I want to say it's like $45 per instance. I could be wrong, but it's a small fee that would be absorbed with the existing budget dollars. It wouldn't be anything we'd have to supplement for. And the savings to employees, it makes it seem well worth the expense.
Great, thank you.
Do you want to just go through what would happen if an employee chose not to stick with the program?
Oh, right. So if an employee terminates and doesn't want to keep the funds in there, they have several ways to get it out. They can basically have their check cut to SDRS and withdraw it within a week or two through that process. So they don't have to keep it in this retirement 401A account. They can elect to pull it out right away, or they could invest it and pull it at their leisure. There are, of course, tax implications as to when an employee withdraws it, because the tax is based on that as income rather than, or it'd be an income taxable event. So employees would likely want to consult their tax expert, but generally it results in significant tax savings to employees.
Thank you for that explanation, Jordan. Why don't you go ahead and give us a roll call vote on this resolution, please?
Councilmember Liebelt,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, we've got a possible approval to purchase 2 ambulances from Premier Specialty Vehicles, and here to talk a little bit about that is Chief Joel Weig. Chief, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, requesting approval to purchase 2 ambulances through PSV. In today's current market, it takes 2 years to build an ambulance from the day of order. So if we were to purchase these, we wouldn't necessarily see them until 2026 or very earliest late of 2025. The 2 ambulances that we're looking to replace, one's a 1997 van-style 4-wheel drive ambulance. It's been in the department for almost 30 years. It's been useful in the winter time, but it lacks the compartment space for the amount of equipment that we have to carry on our ambulances today. And it also lacks all the safety features for the crew riding in the back of the ambulance. There's been a lot of advancement in the past 30-some years. The second ambulance is a 2016 Type 3 ambulance, and on our ambulance rotation replacement, it'll be 10 years old by the time we receive the new ambulance. So requesting your approval to place an order for 2 ambulances.
Thanks, Chief. Would someone care to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Councilman Johnson, second, Councilman Reinbold. Any questions for Fire Chief Joel Weig? Go ahead, Councilman Johnson.
What will happen to the 2 units being replaced?
Sure, the 2 units that we have currently, they'll be surplus after the time we receive the new 2 vehicles. So they could be either put on the city auction or sold or donated to another government agency or something like that.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a large age gap in the, is that normal for us to keep an ambulance for that long, or is that, do we?
No, the 1997 one that we kept that long is just because it's been paid for, and it's utilized in the winter time as a vehicle that can get around in South Dakota weather. Normally we don't keep an ambulance that long, but being it was a 4-wheel drive, that's why we kept it. So one of the 2 new, the request for the 2 new ambulances, one of them will be a 4-wheel drive and one of them will be a 2-wheel drive.
Perfect, thank you.
Go ahead, Councilman Johnson.
Just curious, in a town this size, after 30 years of driving, what sort of odometer reading would there be on the old one?
Sure. This particular one, the 1997, actually has low miles on it because it was only utilized during the winter time because it lacks the compartment space and the ability to proficiently care for a patient in the back with crew members. So it only has 18,000 miles on it.
Wow.
So when you're looking to upgrade your fleet, they'll be going on auction here before too long.
That's funny.
Jordan?
Councilmember Liebelt,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Thanks for joining us, Chief. Next,
Thank
we've
you.
got a possible approval of 4 grants to Rideline to be redone due to manufacturing issues and remaining funds. We've got the first total is $137,000. Second is $21,600. Then $124,591.25, and finally, 4th grant for $80,000. And Rich, I see your little indicator. Are you on the line?
Yes, I am, Mayor. Thank you. So as Mayor stated, these 4 grants, the period of performance is being extended to September 30th of 2024. And the reason for that is because we still don't have buses that have been ordered and the grants have expired. And then line item 2 is actually for cameras that'll be mounted in those new buses. So we're asking for city manager to be able to sign those grant extensions.
Move to approve all 4 grants.
I'll second all 4 grants.
I've got a motion from Councilman Johnson, second from Councilwoman Liebelt. So how many new buses were delivered this fall? Mr.
We
Crowell?
have 2.
Two.
One is an 8+2, and the other is a 14-2.
So two down, 3 to go. That's kind of what we're anticipating here.
Correct. That is correct.
All right, any other questions for Transportation Director Rich Krokel? And do I need to do a voice vote since this is just for the grant?
You don't need to, no.
All right, then, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, we've got a possible approval of Jefferson Bus Lines contract for Ride Line. It looks like it was kind of a clerical thing since we've already kind of been operating under this agreement. What can you tell us about it? Rich?
Actually, Mayor, we have not had a contract in place, and it was important to me to get this contract in place so that we could get a fair amount of money for the trips that we make. We were previously we were making we were being paid 11 cents a mile, and you know that if you do the math, that doesn't even pay for the fuel. But through some discussion with the folks at Jefferson, we're able to agree on $70 per trip plus commissions on tickets sold. So we finally have a paper agreement in place. So I'm asking for city manager to be able to sign that transit agreement with Jefferson Lions.
So moved.
Motion, Councilman Johnson, second, Councilman Norstrup. Any questions? Pretty straightforward. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, we've got a possible approval of the Aberdeen Regional Airport 2023 chiller replacement, and that's what we had talked a little bit about earlier. I'd like it to be 2 votes. First, to engage Sickmiller for the design plans and specs, and second, for the purchase in and of itself. And I believe each of you has that paperwork in front of you with the 2 different options from O'Connor Company. Rich, what can you tell us about these? Why don't we start with Sickmiller?
Back in late August, early September, we had a near catastrophic failure of the entire chiller. Working with climate control, we were able to get the chiller running at half capacity. So we do need to replace that chiller. It's 23 years old. And what I'm asking for is city manager to be able to sign to enter us into an agreement for professional services with Sickmiller Engineering for design plan and specs on that project. And then 7H2 is a choice of 2 different chillers. The fellow from O'Connor Company was looking to see what is available as a stock option. And if we can find a stock chiller that is already pre-built and it meets our requirements, we would purchase that one outright. Or if we have to order one, it's going to be about a 270 to 300 day lead time on that. So I'm asking for the city council to authorize city manager to sign any paperwork necessary to get this chiller purchased.
All right, would someone from the council care to make a motion on these 2 items?
So moved. These 2 items.
Second.
Got a motion, Councilwoman Liebelt, second, Councilwoman Langer. And so, just in taking a look at this document from the O'Connor Company, Rich, I see it says next available stock option available approximately 3/26/23. Is that a misprint?
Oh, yes,
That's what I was
that would be
thinking, too.
24. That is a misprint. Nice catch.
And so
on
that would be the preferred option rather than the other because of the lead time?
The build to order is the one that really takes a long time. But yeah, if we can find that one that's already built, meets our specs, then that's the one we would go with for the sum of approximately 60,910.
All right. Anyone else from the council have any questions? All right. Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the possible approval of a variety of payments for our AIP, as well as the authorization for the city manager to be able to sign the necessary paperwork. We've got a payment to Aaron Swan and Associates, $6,096, to Helms and Associates, $26,238.16, to Sharp Enterprises for $223,313.99, to Ephraimson in the amount of $36,963.61, to Helms and Associates for $20,393.58, to Reedy Construction for $234.22, and finally to Reedy for $111,300.20. Quite a few here tonight, Rich. It's up to you to walk us through them.
Yes, sir. So the 7I1 line item for Aaron Swan is for concrete testing on the general aviation ramp project. We brought this to council several months ago, and it's a 5-year agreement that we have with Aaron Swan. We reached out to several testing companies, and Aaron Swan provided the best price for us. So we owe them $6,096. And again, this was in association with the general aviation ramp project that we just finished up. Line item 7I2, excuse me, is invoice for Helms and Associates, $26,238.16, and that is for engineering services and administration to date on the project. They started working on some of the closeout paperwork as well on that. 7I3 is for Pay Sharp Enterprises, pay estimate 6 for $223,313.99, and that will also reduce their retainage to 5%. But we're holding back enough that if we have any warranty issues, it's still enough to get their attention and get them back here in a timely order. 7I, where did I go here?
You're at number 4.
Okay, 7I4, that was for Ephraimson Electric, pay estimate 4B, and that's for runway 1331 lighting improvements, and that's for work completed to date by Ephraimson. 7I5 is Helms and Associates, invoice 8 for $20,393.58. And that is for resident engineering and administration services on the runway 1331 project. 7I6 is estimate 5/8 construction, $8,234.82. Work completed to date, and that also reduces retainage to 5%. 7I7 is approval to pay Reedy Construction estimate 580 in the amount of $111,300.20, and that is for work completed to date. and that project is completed. So I think that's all I got.
Move approval for all 7 payments.
Second for all 7 items. Unless
Sounds
somebody else
Good, I've
superseded.
got a motion, Councilman Johnson, second, Councilwoman Liebelt. Any questions for our Transportation Director? All right, then, Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Liebelt,
Aye.
Rife. Councilmember Rife. Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got our review and approval of claims as well as payroll, which we've added here tonight to the agenda. This week's bills, of course, November 6th, and then our pay period is from November 5th through November 18th. So I think that the bill list might be incorrect. Is that actually for the 20th?
That should be November 20th.
All right, so bills for the 20th, pay period for November 5th through November 18th.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion, Councilman Reinbold, second, Councilwoman Liebelt. Anything before we take our vote? Okay, last roll call vote of the evening. Jordan?
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Finally, we have our city manager's report. Robin, what have you got for us here this evening?
As you're probably aware, staff will be off, City Hall will be closed, and all your departments, for the most part, with the exception of police and fire, will be closed on Friday after Thanksgiving. Treatment plants obviously will be running. Staff did talk about the 2024 administrative holidays, and the decision was to do the Friday after Thanksgiving again next year, as well as the Friday after the 4th of July. So those will be the 2 administrative holidays next year. We had 2 milestone anniversaries for staff. One was Jordan Bush in the police department. I think he had 5 years, if I remember right, and that was in October. And then the other one was Scott Slosher, who's in the street department. He's at 25 years. And actually, we just did those certificates this past week, so I'm not near as timely as Mr. Gaw was for this stuff, but we'll get better. And then I thought maybe I'd give police chief a chance to visit about his busy week last week and let him commend his staff.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to be able to speak to the incidents last week. So you're familiar with our press releases, and you probably had received information from the city manager. It was a trying, difficult time on the department and the community, tragic in many ways, but our department did an outstanding job responding to these incidents. But just like any response, you can't do it without teamwork, and the Brown County response team from the dispatch center to our fire departments and all other law enforcement partners helped us respond to those. So, not being able to speak to active investigations, we just want to say thanks to the first responders and to the community. And I had an opportunity to talk to Scott a little bit on the radio and address some questions. So anybody in the community that has questions or concerns or wants to know more about how or why we respond to certain things or what we do, my door is open. My phone number is readily available. My cell phone is on my card. So I'm always willing to talk to anybody in the community that has any questions or concerns. And with that, thanks for giving me an opportunity just to thank our first responders.
All right, well, thank you, Chief. I second that appreciation. Thanks, Robin, for the report. If there's nothing else from the council, I would take a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Move to adjourn.
Motion, Councilman Johnson, second, Councilman Norvstrup. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned.